Hi, welcome to the Augmentation of Man with Kent and Renee Miller, where we are bringing the future.
What we're going to bring you is called the Time of Awakening, or Time to Awaken, and it's taken from our second book we've written, The Acquiescence of Humanity.
You can find this as well as a study in Renaissance on Amazon. And this is going to be taken out of chapter 8 of The Acquiescence of Humanity. This is not so much a lesson as it is more of a prediction, but it helps to explain some of the events that we believe are upon us right now.
That are now taking place, and it really influences the way you're going to be thinking, probably in the future, here, near future.
Yeah, so keep these predictions in mind as the next month or two unfold, and come back to it as you need to, as well as some of the other lessons. Like there's one on one of our videos on consequences. Also, we had about it was more than that, about 21 videos in a series of predictions. And we urge you to go back and review those. They're on YouTube. I don't think we've loaded them yet onto BitChute or Rumble.
We hope to load them on other platforms.
But if you do prefer those other platforms, visit us on those as well. Okay. So what we're going to do is switch over to, I'm going to share a screen and we're going to do PowerPoint. And this here is going to be, again, the time to awaken. What we want to bring into your awareness is the wording in white is the direct message that was given to us verbatim from our spiritual guides, received by Kent while he's in deep meditation. And then the gray is our interpretation of the above lesson or prediction that was given.
Yes, it's what we think it may mean. But let's begin. Beware of those who call themselves enlightened. Beware of false. Those who say they are enlightened, and I've been harping on this for some time, they come to deceit. Man is fortuitous of his behavior. That's interesting, using the word fortuitous. Of his behavior of others around him. Fortuitous in the exactness to the enlightenment of others. Be heralded, shout.
Okay, so our interpretation, and again, this can be found in The Acquiescence of Humanity. So if you want to get a copy of that book, you can follow this yourself and refer back to this video. So our interpretation is all consciousness has been controlled. Even those that say they are enlightened have come to deceive. Any true understanding that we have seems to have occurred by chance. That's the fortuitousness. The downward spiral will enhance the culmination of our learning experience. And we are being warned to not be influenced by those who are trying to suppress others, but instead loudly and publicly call out the truth.
What I like about this one, it says all consciousness has been controlled. And as we see right now, all consciousness is trying to be controlled.
Yes, and a couple of videos back, we talked about, I think it was in the 2021 predictions, how an Orwellian atmosphere would develop. And sure enough, within that, the following week, we saw it coming to a head that quickly. And so they're telling us that our downward spiral will enhance the culmination of our learning experience. So as we watch everything disintegrate, we are in this massive learning cycle, and it has value, believe it or not.
Yeah, it does.
So
The
we're
thing
not
is-
supposed to be, let's not go along with the program of the suppression, and particularly suppression of truth, but loudly and publicly call out the
The thing
truth.
is, are we going to disintegrate with this, or are we going to stand firm in our beliefs, in our feet, in
Are we-
cement?
Are we going to rise like the phoenix out of the flames?
So behavior is obnoxious. Lately, it's been very obnoxious. The culmination of this cycle, which is the fourth cycle, beginning into the, as the native people will say, we are entering the fifth cycle. The propensity of behavior is obnoxious. The obscenity of a culmination. Bombardment of nations will supersede the culmination. That's an interesting phrase. The stupidity will enhance the process of culmination. Be intact with others. The encirclement of detritus environments. Boy, that's a lot of wording. Be prepared to receive the shift. Happening will occur. Wine will flow like blood. In many places, that's an interesting phrase. Wine will flow like blood. People fighting, confused. Some will say, why me? I've been true to God. They do not know the truth.
Now, this was the message that was received by Kent verbatim. And it's funny because you were stumbling over these words right now, but yet when they come through when he's in deep meditation, they're delivered exactly as you see them written. So it's kind of interesting. So what they're telling us here is people will fight amongst each other. They will turn to alcohol to numb themselves from the disintegration that's happening in our society today, asking God, why me? I've been true to you.
But do they know God in their heart?
And they're saying even the believers have been ensnared in the deception. And so, you know, we can have a good heart. We can have all the best intentions, but when we are encircled by deception, then it's real hard to find the truth. And so it takes a lot of work.
There's so much deception going on from all angles that people are running in circles, confused, because they're trying to find truth. And it's very difficult to separate truth from fictitious beliefs, especially right now when there's so many so-called truths out there that you don't know which way to turn.
Everybody's got an agenda. So they're telling us the behavior is getting obnoxious. It's obscene, but it is the result of a culmination of a cycle of perception, which is not aligned to truth anymore.
Yes, I've never seen so much obnoxiousness ever than there is recently.
But the stupidity will enhance the process of the culmination. It's bringing everything to a head. And our task is to be the truth seeker and to loudly call out the truth. The problem is we've got to make sure we have the truth.
Yeah. So again, I've said this many times, you have to quit being lazy. You have to do your own research to try to find the truth. Do not believe what everybody tells you. You have to do your own research.
And so they're saying be intact with others, the encirclement of detritus environments. And detritus means harmful environments. So there's going to be so much turmoil going on.
There is turmoil going on. And the environment is very harmful right now.
It is. And it's only going to get worse before it gets better. But if we are intact with others, then we have people who we can rely on these during these troubled times. And so don't burn all your bridges. Make sure that you have people that, even if they have differing viewpoints than we do, that they're people that we can rely on in times of hardship.
And this detritus environment is worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so these planetary alignments set up a vibrational field for certain events to occur.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are putting ourselves through these lessons. And so it's our job to learn from these. They're saying, be prepared to receive the shift. Now, the shift is going to be the shift in our understanding and our awakening. Not everyone is going to awaken.
No.
And so during this time, wine will flow like blood in many places, meaning that a lot of people will turn to drinking where the alcohol level is so high in the blood, it'll be like that equal to wine. People fighting, confused, and they feel like perhaps God has abandoned them. But the fact of the matter is that God is setting forth all these entities to come here to help turn things around for us.
Testing. Could God be testing mankind's belief in God?
Don't know.
That would be very interesting. And we'll see who just goes to church for social gatherings or who really believes and follow God's path.
And they have told us that secularism will be amended on the horizon. So when you go through your trials and things look pretty hard, what do we usually do? That's when we finally turn to God. And so in our desperation, we turn to God, and that is a big part of the lessons that we're going through at this time. So as we reach out to God and we genuinely want to reconnect with God, we also have our reconnection with the higher self, and an awakening can occur to who we really are at the soul level.
A new vibration of awakening. So all hell will break loose. So negative energy, which there's a lot of going on right now, human increases and destabilizations. Government surprise. Oh, yes. Arterial infusion in the human event. That's an interesting phraseology. Control of all consciousness. Creating a supportive path mindset is perception of reasoning. All hell will break loose.
So they're talking about all this buildup of negative human energy. And usually when the spirit guides are talking about negative, it means to keep people in the dark, to hide information, to deflect information, to have people looking over here while something else is going on over here. Mm-hmm. And so that is what they call negativity. On the opposite side, positively is all about the learning, the sharing of information.
And what gets me is we one time early on, we interpreted government surprise as something else. Now we see government surprise, all those in government that have become negative by all means. And so
through hiding the truth.
Right, through hiding the truth. And we've seen that now just a lot recently.
Mm-hmm. And so they're talking about an arterial infusion, the government surprise being an arterial infusion in the human event. And that is like injecting us like an IV with directly into our veins. The fact that control of all consciousness has been taking place. So this government surprise is going to be presented to us, and this is our interpretation, it's going to be presented to us in a way of kind of presenting this or creating a supportiveness, a supportive mindset. Like, you know, they are reaching out and saying, look, we have been, you know, engaged in this, and this is the reason why. But all hell will break loose in the process.
That supportive mindset is going to break down many people around the world. You're going to have people shouting to the rooftops, and many will be downtrodden from the mindset that's going to happen. So
I think this surprise.
Yeah, this from the surprise that's going to happen.
Yeah. And so it will bring to light the total control of consciousness that has occurred, and directly injecting the population with the understanding while trying to create a supportive mindset in their reasoning for doing this. But yet still, all hell's going to break loose.
So Native Americans, and I've been saying this for 15 years, 10 years, well, 10 years now. Native Americans, they will lead the way. So the spirit shall be awakened within each one of their past. All lives. Native Americans will lead the way to understanding and consciousness. Constellations are vibrating. Soon all will be in unison. When they all vibrate the same, then all unison will happen. Then the one that is not will move. And we were saying, what is the one that is not?
It's Earth that has not been at a higher vibration.
Yes.
So you have all the other planets that are vibrating at a higher level, and the one that has not will soon start to move and start to vibrate at a higher level, and Earth is doing that now.
It's going to change everything. When Native Americans agree, when they totally agree and no longer disagree with each other, they will unite. The fourth dimensional change will be within. Man will perceive one another as an extension and existence of their past from other places. A new reality will prevail. Pretentiousness will no longer arise. New values are conceptual to the realities of man's true being. The effervescence of perception to the truth will flow in the veins of man, in the veins of humanity, creating a new concept and appreciation of who they are and where they come from. That's going to awaken a whole lot.
Yeah. So let's dissect this a little bit. So the spirit shall be awakened within each one of their past, all lives. And let's jump forward a bit to the second paragraph. Yes. Man will perceive one another as an extension and existence of their past from other places. So this would be those who awaken will start to have memories of their past lives. And so this is along a timeline, the fourth dimension being time and our existence in all of time. So when they talk about the Native Americans uniting, this will be the shift, the fourth dimensional change that will occur within us. And then we have access to memories of previous lifetimes and people in our current lives, and how we have connections to them in other past lives where we have played different roles with the same people in our lives today in other past lives.
Now, the natives will help us with a new reality by helping us to understand, teaching us how to understand the spiritual world and the world we live all around us.
But this new reality will be that understanding of our eternalness and all of these past lives and how we have been reincarnating. So it'll be a new understanding and a new reality for humanity, for those who don't currently believe in reincarnation.
You don't have to be pretentious any longer.
Yeah.
That's the word. Pretentiousness will no longer arise. In other words, you learn how to be yourself.
But also, I think too, is that
that'll give you values.
If we've lived hundreds of lifetimes, you can imagine, you know, if we're karma is the experiencing of either side of a lesson. So, you know, wealth, poverty, it goes on. You can be the predator, you can be the one who's hunted or preyed upon. So you're each lifetime, you're going to experience one side, and then another lifetime and another side, or perhaps the same lifetime, you can experience both sides to give you balance and understanding. So therefore, you know, for people who think, well, I've been a good person, who knows what we've done in other past lives? And that's going to bring a sense of humility to our being, where we won't be so pretentious about how good we are, because we're going to have memories of some lifetimes where we weren't very good. And that's all about the learning on a larger, in a larger perspective. It's all about the learning.
Yeah, you could have been a pirate in one life and a cardinal in another.
Right. So we have to come to understand that we may be presented with this paradox, you know. So now new values are conceptual to the realities of man's true being. So the whole purpose of our being is to be learning. And the next cycle we're moving into is conceptual learning. So it's the ability to grab data and information and be able to connect the dots and see a bigger picture. We're not just focusing on this myopic view, but we're opening up our field of view so that we can see the bigger picture here.
So man, when human race finds out who they are, it's also important where they come from. And what you say, where they come from, what does that mean? Do they come from Detroit or California? No. You could very well come from your base, could very well be another planet.
Right. For some people, their home planet is not normally Earth.
They come here to learn.
But for a lot of humans, Earth is their base planet. So this is what we had already discussed, our interpretation. So when the Native Americans unite, the fourth dimensional change will occur within, allowing us to see our connection with others through the multiplicity of lives past, creating a new reality of who we are and where we come from.
Creation part there gives me is connection to others. That doesn't necessarily mean everyone on Earth. Could be connection with others
in your soul group.
In your soul group.
And so the constellations have been vibrating with a higher level of understanding. Now, keep in mind that levels of vibration equate to levels of understanding. So when somebody is trying to raise their vibration, the way you do it is to increase your understanding. It's not just focusing on a higher vibration and concentrating on it and hoping it'll happen.
So completeness will come full circle. So the completeness will come full circle now when this chaos is finished. You are who you were. This is interesting. You are who you were, and you were who you are today. We'll have to talk about that a little bit, because that is an extremely good phraseology. The relevance to this understanding is magnitude to the transformation. Correctional behavior depends on the world's results. In other words, the things that happen on Earth can be somewhat controlled, but man cannot, because they have free will and they can change from one minute to the next. So they cannot be controlled necessarily by the spirits.
I think too, the world results is that the events that are playing out today are meant to awaken us to what is really going on.
And
the
some
reality.
will awaken and some won't.
Yes, but on a worldwide scale, this is occurring worldwide, not just in the U.S. So our ability to shift our behavior is going to depend on the results, the conclusions to the events that are playing out today on a worldwide scale. Everybody is watching the US right now. This is a big event. This is the Great Awakening.
So, yeah, correctional behavior depends on the world's results, just like you just said, what's going to happen in the world, not just the US.
It's how the world understands what is happening.
Now it is strictly meditations for guidance and the beginning of preparation for transformation.
And that was talking about this period of time that we received this lesson. I meant to check and see what year that was. This was published in this book last year. So
must be a couple of years old.
The information is at least several years old, the message that we received.
So the word transformation here, spiritual and youthful heredity, all is as was, all is as was, all will be.
And so our translation is, our correctional behavior depends on the world's conclusions to the events before us. Our transformation will be spiritual as well as genetic, and will bring us back to a period of time in the ancient past where humanity valued the expansion of their understanding and knowledge, bringing us full circle. So we're coming to completion of a cycle where it's gotten, there's a culmination of corruption, of control of consciousness, and we are moving out of that. The truth is being revealed. It is up to us to be able to see the truth and accept the truth. And so that is what is going to, when we see the truth and we accept the truth, that is when our behavior shifts. So when you have a positive change in behavior, it is based on your new understanding.
Yeah, and this looking for this truth and accepting the understanding of the truth is who we were.
Yes, on a soul level.
And we're looking for today, for who we are today.
Who we are on soul level, who we have always been, and understanding that in all of time that we have had many lessons, many lifetimes. We've shared these lessons with people in our soul group. We've played different roles, meaning that you could have been your friend's mother in a past life. But we play all these different roles, and we're learning lessons that we came here to, we chose to come here to learn. And we're also learning from each other. So as we observe other people going through their lessons, we are learning from them as well.
Again, all is as was, all will be.
And so we hope that we haven't confused you too much, but
we got fun doing this.
It is interesting. Be aware that there may be this government surprise coming soon that is going to shed light on some things that have been happening. And if you would like to study this on your own, check out the book, The Augmentation of Man series, but the book is called The Acquiescence of Humanity on Amazon. And so feel free to share like,
Hit the button. Is there a button on here? The bell or
Yeah.
whatever, subscribe.
and leave your comments if you want. We'd be happy to get back to you on that. So please, also, if you want to receive this automatically, our video blogs, go to our website, verdiance.com. That is at the end of this video, verdiance.com. And you can sign up at the bottom of the page for an automatic email with the video blog. So we hope that this has helped you to understand
what
some of the events that are playing out today.
And not all Native people will awaken. Those that we have contacted will awaken. Those that still believe in the ancient ways and still hold dear to the same traditions are the teachers. But that information that we've given you, we hope you have learned something.
I do want to say, though, we have recently gotten another reassurance that God is in charge of this, that we are being reassured that these events will come to an end soon. And, you know, soon is relative in the eyes of the universe and universal time, but have patience. Our job is to be the truth seeker, to see the truth, to find the truth, and to accept the truth. Also, we're being told that the evil ones that are here now, those that are of the negative side, will be pushed out fairly soon. And so you're going to see a complete shift in the paradigm here on Earth between the negative being pushed out and our awakening to who we are, completing our cycle within the fourth dimension.
Again, we told, hang strong and turn your heart to God for guidance on this.
Peace be with you on your journey to enlightenment. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.